So I'll introduce you. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this weekly seminar series. We're very happy to have Professor Anuj Bhowmik today. Professor Anuj Bhowmik is an associate professor at ISI Calcutta. And as a lot of you would already know, he was a faculty member at IGIDR between 2018 and 2020. So it's an even more special seminar. Professor Bhowmik's area of interest are mechanism design, game theory, general equilibrium theory, social network. And today he will be presenting his research work titled Segmented Assimilation, a Minority's Dilemma. So Professor Anuj, you have about 50 minutes to present your work. There will be 20 to 25 minutes of time after that for discussion. If you want, you can take up clarification.
Thank you, Bharti, for your kind introduction. So, this is the second time I am presenting in this room. The first time in 2017 when I did my job from here, and the second, yeah, I have taken a lot of class here, the compulsory courses, but when I applied for the job, then I get a job from here, and I present the paper. And this is the second time I'm presenting, and yes, I always like this place and want to come to this place, and it's good that I got this opportunity to present my ongoing research in front of my own faculty members. So this is a collaborative research. Professor Bhowmik, we started this research a long time ago, and
You want to try this?
So we started this research a long time ago. We actually never rush, okay, because we always want to get a good results. And so basically, our aim was to spend the time on this problem and try to investigate as deeply as possible, because as we believe that the problem that we are considering, there are a lot of hidden things, and if we spend more time on this, so we can maybe figure out a lot of conclusions. So maybe I start with some introduction. So in many countries, the minorities live with the mainstream population. So the minorities can be distinguished with respect to the religion, the language they speak, or the dress code. Okay, they were. So here are a lot of examples, like African, Latin, Native American in the US, the Palestinian in Israel, and Muslim in India, and many others. Now, there is sufficient empirical evidence that the minorities receive the positive economic returns with affiliating with the mainstream culture. Okay. Then the basic question arises. The question is, have such incentive historically generate monotonic assimilation with the mainstream? That means whether all the minorities is going to assimilate with the mainstream. The answer is no, because not necessarily everyone is going to assimilate with the mainstream, and this is due to the cultural heterogeneity of the minorities. Okay, so like those minorities, maybe they are more educated, okay, or financially they are quite stable. Okay, they normally assimilate with the mainstream, but there are minorities who do not assimilate with the mainstream. So we want to start. This is the problem of the a sociological theory of segmented assimilation, studied initially by Alessandro Portes and his co-author Zhu. I think the first author co-author is Zhu, and then he worked with the several other people in 1993, the first one. So our goal is to study the theoretically the whole problem. Okay, so we introduce a dynamic multi-generation social economics model, means infinite generation model, and study the equilibrium assimilation trajectory. Okay, so in every generation, I'll discuss in details all what we mean by the equilibrium assimilation means. So there will be an initial generation, and then minorities take the decisions regarding the whether they want to culture shift, whether they want to migrate to the mainstream culture to the city to assimilate with the mainstream culture. So in generation one, start with some distribution. At the end, there will be another distribution. Then generation two, there will be another distribution, and so on and so on. And then we'll see that we will get the different kind of trajectories. Maybe everybody is going to assimilate in the village, starting from the same initial distribution. Everyone's going to assimilate in the village. Maybe in long run, if they are going to assimilate in the city, maybe in the long run there will be a fracture equilibrium. A group of minorities, okay, portion is going to assimilate in the village, and the other group is going to assimilate in the city. Okay, so we'll see that okay, starting from the same initial distribution, we'll get the many different outcomes. And
you have some multi-overlapping generation model. Sorry for
not overlapping actually.
Multi-generational, but are they geographically segregated? Or assuming that geographic segregation.
Geographic segregation means?
What we are talking about a village as
yes.
To urban rest. For instance, you go to another country, let's say America or UK or whatever. They may be staying in one ghetto type existence. Others may not be. So they are distributed in different types in America or anywhere else. Geographic separation can keep a lot of harm, detriment to classification. But are you assuming anywhere in all the fundamental substructure of geography? Like tasks have a lot of geographic separation. Tribes are separate. Tasks also have hamlets. Are you assuming any such thing?
No, nothing. Cultural assimilation. The cultural and geographical. Yes, cultural means in the there will be two positions. One will be the village and the city. Then the group is going to assimilate in the city, and then culturally also assimilate in the city, and the other group is going to assimilate in the village, and they are also going to culturally assimilate in the village. Means yes.
Geographic boundary is an assumption of the model? No, it's not.
It's not it's a part of the model, yes.
So that will create a lot of detriment to assimilation. As it is.
Yes.
As it is, you don't have to go much further than that. If tasks are kept in one side as opposed to another, intercaste marriages will also come, and so on. So unless they are arranged. So that's the kind of idea. I'll come to that. That's why the first shot of the question, I'm assuming this as a start. You don't have that.
No.
As an assumption.
So basically, that as I mentioned, that the minorities are different. We speak to many things like the religion, the language, and everything. So there are different kinds of minorities, and so that's why we are expecting like a defined kind of assimilation path. Okay, so that's what we want to study, and specifically, our aim is to study to find whether there is a fragmented assimilation. Means that I mentioned that the part is going to assimilate in the village and the part, because that's the empirical evidence saying that okay, not all minorities are going to assimilate in with the mainstream. So this work actually contributes to a large extent the social economic literature. And the purpose of this paper is to find the minimal sufficient conditions for the alternative assimilations path, for the existence for the path's existence and the coexistence, because there can be multiple paths at the same time. And show that the fragmented assimilation leads over time to the minorities poverty, inequality, and polarization. What I want to mean, the complete assimilation is better if they are going to assimilate in the village, all the minorities, or everybody migrate to the city and assimilate. But the fragmentation is bad. That's we want to also show. Uh, okay, so now okay, we model the situation. So basically, as I mentioned that there are heterogeneous minority population, and first of all, we model the minority population by the okay, as there are a minority village and the minority cities. Okay, I can come to that later. And in every generation, a minority born in the village or especially in the city, if and only her parents, okay, uh, are her likelihood working in the people. Okay, let's say if my parents working in the city, then I am born in the city. If my parents working in the village, in his or her life, then I'll born in the village. And in every generation, every reborn minorities receives two kinds of stochastic opportunities. A chance to shift to an adjacent cultural position. For example, my parents are not educated, but I get an opportunity to get an admission in a school. So I'm educated. That means I'm a little bit more mainstream focused. So maybe I know English. So there is a possibility that I'll get a job in the city, more possibility than my parents. So this is one of the, but this is probabilistic. It depends whether because not everybody will get a chance in getting admission in the school. That's why it is probabilistic. And also the second opportunity to a high paying city job offer. Okay, city job. Maybe not everybody will get the city job. So first they, okay, when they born and they become adult, they get these cultureship opportunities. Probabilistically, when everybody made, okay, those who get these opportunities take their decisions whether they want to culture shift. Okay, I'll be precise later. And once it is done, then people again get the probabilistic opportunity to for the migration. Okay, and minority individuals are motivated by the short-term goal. Like every minority is cared for his utility. We also studied the issue like if I not only care for my utility, also I little bit care about my children's utility. Okay, but we are not considering the issue that we care for the distance progeny. Okay, like after the 100 generation, I don't care for that because if everybody cares for this issue, then there will be no fragmentation. Either they want everybody is going to migrate, everybody is migrating to the city, or everybody stay back in the village. Okay, and going to assimilate in a single culture position. Okay, so that's we can show that. Now, okay, model. Now this is the first generation problem. There is a continuum of individuals of measure 1 in the period 1. I am taking continuum, not the finite remaining. There is a reason because if you take the finite remaining individuals, then the influence of by taking finite remaining, that means if the actions of a single individual will influence all others. That means it is not a good idea to modify the finite remaining. That's why we have taken the continuum of individuals. Minority. I already mentioned that there are different kinds of minorities. Okay, more traditional, less traditional. So we model by the discrete numbers 1 to up to capital P. Here by 1 means the most traditional minorities, and if you are moving towards right, capital P, that means the less traditional minorities. And the mu naught is the initial distributions of the minorities are in the generation 1. So that means the mu naught 1 is the measure of individual born in the position 1. Similarly, mu naught P is the measure of individual born in the position capital P. And this is the story about the village. Then population located at some concentration PM, which is more right to P. Okay. Now, there is a village, there is a city. Now the village people, the heterogeneous, at every position P, everybody getting the culture shift opportunity to the adjacent position. Okay, if I born in the position P, then I get the opportunity to culture shift to P, either P minus 1 or P plus 1. Okay. Means if I born in 1, then 1 and 2. Okay, I can stay back with 1 or I can move to 2. If I born in 2, then I can move to 1 or move to 3 or I can stay back in 3. Means you cannot culture shift rapidly. Largely in a single generation. Slowly. And if I am saying that everybody is getting the sigma probability, that means that the sigma fraction of the people will get the opportunity. Okay. So that means people who born in the position 1, that is sigma naught 1, then sigma times sigma naught 1, mu naught 1 will get that opportunity. Like similarly for the position 2, sigma times mu naught 2, people will get this opportunity. They'll get opportunity, whether they will accept the opportunity or whether they will shift or not, that depends on the. And once people take their decisions, then a new distribution will arise. Because maybe I born in the position 1, then I culture shift to the position 2, and so on. Okay, once it is done, then they will receive the stochastic opportunity to migrate. Whenever I am saying this culture shifting is like that, whether you want to get it, whether you want to take the university admission, those and those many other things. Okay. Now the job opportunity. Okay. Now from every position P, people again get the probabilistic opportunity. Okay. So from position P, GP is the probability for getting the city job offer. Okay. And of course, if you are going towards right, probability is higher because in the position P, people are more educated. Okay. And if you are going towards left, that means G1 is lower. Okay. Now, once they take this migration decision, a new distribution will arise. In the village, these are the distributions of the minorities in the village. And now few people migrate, but whenever I am migrating to the city, I am migrating with my backward culture. Like if I get a university admission, I am migrating with that knowledge, not my parents. Okay, because when I born, my culture was like my parents' culture. Okay, they are uneducated. But when I'm migrating to the city, I'm migrating with my acquired culture. So this will be the distribution. Upward 1 means the measure of individuals who migrate from the position 1 to the city. Likewise, the Kappa 1P is the measure of individuals who migrate to the city from the position. Yeah.
When you say culture,
Yeah.
so that seems playing a very important role here. Okay, I anticipate.
Yes.
Why culture? What do you actually mean? Cluster of things are you talking about? See, I'm worried about one thing. Is it your mathematics which is driving discrete change, or is it because culture stops you from making discrete jumps? I mean, I could be from a village anywhere and sitting here, and I can make a discrete and distinct jump rather than a sidewise one step each time. You're talking about the culture. That's why I try to understand why.
So then I think what I understood you were meaning that whether there is a one step jump or like this.
Is it why are you forcing it to have minuscule change? That's the question. And
Because
that culture needs something much more complex.
No, I can definitely allow I'm not allowing you to change like a rapidly from 1 to you can directly jump to the 1. If you were staying very far from the city, your culture is entirely different. So like you cannot in a single generation, your child maybe cannot learn everything. Yes. Yes.
For instance, what's this for? Very urban. And if are you talking about that, the village goes to an urban.
Yes.
In the surrounding area, are you talking about that sort of thing? Culture opportunities include your occupation, your job opportunities, or you're talking about a general model in which it could be applicable in say London or in American cities.
Yes.
And in American cities, the entire modalities will change. They go to a neighborhood in which the schools are getting to us. Okay, in Britain, unless we live in a ghetto, that is why I was asking that very first question. Why are you making it a kind of very minuscule change forcing on the system? Is it because of your mathematics?
No, not mathematics. Because let's say if I allow everybody to jump from 1 to P, if I allow, they can directly jump from 1 to P. Maybe in a single generation or 2 generations, they are all going to assimilate in the city.
Restriction
of
multiple generations is absolutely valid.
Yes.
Because even philosophers would not say you can foresee and do anything beyond 1 or 2 generations.
Yes.
The grandchildren plan beyond that you cannot. Okay, but I'm talking about a culture shift. Why I'm unable to understand what you mean by culture. You're forcing the system to have only epsilon or some such thing. That is my trouble in understanding.
So we can allow to change the culture by the 2 steps. Okay.
Why not multiple steps?
Then
will that create a problem in your model?
Not model. Then maybe then that will give you maybe the complete assimilation or the fragmentation. Yeah. Because then everybody suddenly the initial positions will be empty. Okay, like we model 1 to
yeah, some segment of that can sorry, my disturbing. Okay. So I just wanted a clarification about what do you mean by culture is what we normally understand as culture, or what you're talking about culture as a complex situation.
So we are just assuming that in a single generation you cannot change your culture too much. Okay, with over generation people are changing, not in a single generation. Okay, like if my parents is too traditional, maybe I cannot change my culture rapidly in a single generation. I can change slightly, then my children again change little bit more and so on. But in a single generation, you cannot change yourself too much. That's the assumption. Yeah.
That clarity.
Yeah. No, then they are gay. Now, so this is the story of the first generation. In the first generation, initially there are no minorities in the village, sorry, in the city. So now this is the final distributions of the minorities in the village and in the city. Okay. Now in the second generation, this will be the initial distributions because now before they die, they give a birth of 1 offspring. Okay. So in the second generation, this is the initial distributions of the minorities in the village, and this is the initial distributions of the minorities in the city. Okay. So now the minorities, starting from second generation, the minorities are available in the city. Okay. So education is a part of the culture.
But then you are measuring culture by saying, higher is the value of
yes.
Higher is the probability of service.
Yes.
So that essentially means, my skill set is man.
Yes. And that's why you are getting more opportunities.
So that's not conservative.
That then you get the opportunity, but you are not migrating. This is not migrating. Probably you are getting a job. If you are more skilled, then you will get a chance. Probably. That doesn't mean that you are going to accept that. You will get the opportunity. That doesn't mean that you will accept that. Okay. That's why I'm saying probability. I'm not saying that if you are higher skilled, you are migrating to the city. That's what I'm not saying.
This culture, here the one culture as a skill. That's
okay. Okay.
No culture, skill.
Okay.
So then it's policy. Same way policy. Rural migration.
Yes.
Now, once I interpret this as the culture, then suppose there are 2 dimensions. One is my outlook, and another is my skill. Now I can be very orthodox, but I'm very skilled.
Okay.
So then I get some index, right? I weigh them in some way. So suppose I go to 0.7 because I am the orthodox, so I get less than 1, but I'm 0.7 because I'm IBC. But suppose I am open and I am less than that, then I will be getting a probability value say 0.8 because I am open. But then openness, my openness is to a higher probability of getting a which is not likely to be the case. Unless there is some sort of some biases against the loss.
So I think now if you are more skilled, then you will be more in the right. Okay, more close to the capital P. So when you are
Don't give any importance on my other time.
no.
So orthodoxy is very cheap. Then only skill guides my activity.
But like when like although you are very skilled, but you do not want to migrate, like you want to
Then you need to get a chance.
Yes. Yes, but that's why. But of course, I have not. So far, I have not introduced the utility foundation. Okay, how the decision making locker. So far, I told you the story. Okay, they are going to get the opportunities, but I have not said that how they make their decision. Of course, their decision will take into account all those things. Like mainly the way we have modeled here.
Yes, I don't follow completely with the ranking of because we are making C as an increasing function of this argument.
See,
Why do I to make that as when can I get that? That is the question.
by these probabilities, here we are basically probabilities like those components, those are relevant for the city job offer. Okay. Like somebody want to get a city job, right? So something is relevant, like education or your smartness or many other things. Okay. Maybe you are not smart, but maybe you are educated, but that is not something is not sufficient to get the city job, right? Because smartness is another thing, like although you are educated. So that whenever I'm just ranking 1 to capital T, here basically those positions located close to the capital P is like those people have more chance in getting the city job offer. Okay, with respect to something like whether education, smartness, dress code, all others, which are relevant for the city job offer. Okay.
The culture is basically the culture is the one which has is sure I am able to getting a job in the city. That is superior culture. Superior culture makes more probability of getting a job. That is, however, wrestling higher probability.
So this one question. So I understand that you're keeping PM to the right of capital P because you want to show that I mean the city has a better the mainstream culture. The mainstream culture is better for the villages. But what if we keep it somewhere between one and will your results change a lot? Because I mean then it's like
how do you compare the like the minorities culture with the mainstream? Then which one better?
so that's so there will be relatives in a relative sense it will be better.
We are just kind of want to be is like a superior culture is getting like the jobs like just the like we are ordering the culture in the way that okay so that it captures the like your culture like so if you want to put in the middle then maybe we can model in the sense that okay those close to the city culture but it's kind of single pick type of preference that those close to the city culture getting the higher chance in getting the city job. But somehow we need to capture the issues that some culture have more opportunity in getting the city job. Some others are not. Those are traditional. No. Maybe the uneducated, the smartness, all other things. Okay. So those like those individuals whose culture is like a very different from the city people culture in the sense of education, smartness, race code, and all us. So there, those questions will be far from their city culture. Now Whether you want to put in the middle or you want to put in the right is up to you. Okay.
Basically, you're trying to say that education as a concept is subsumed within the culture.
Yes.
So you're not saying that education is the driving factor.
Yes.
My ability to move from a village scenario to a city scenario gives me higher probability of getting a job,
Yes.
irrespective of what my level of education. But the
No.
education is subsumed.
No, not irrespective of the level of education. Like if you are educated, definitely then you will be located in a right on this. Like whenever I was modeling like this question, let's say if you are uneducated, your dress code is like very different from the culture, city, mainstream culture, or everything is very different. That means you are located in here. But let's say your dress code and everything is very traditional, but you are educated. Maybe you are not in the question one, you are in the question two or three. Means
I'm not educated, but I'm very tuned to city culture.
then maybe you are not
And
located in. So
I'm very differently.
okay, now if you are putting in the right side, then the whenever the goes like one to like some individual in the right side, that's only mean that these are the individual will get a higher opportunity to migrate in the city. That's it. That's taking into account anything which one is for the like individual. For the job, a lot of things are relevant. If the your culture is relevant to get the city to offer, of course you are in the right. Okay.
Generation gets jobs. One is the probability of getting a job, and the other is the competition.
Yes.
So I'm a little mystified by this modeling choice. So how I dress, or what language I use, or what education level I use, these are all conscious decisions. These are not shocks.
Shocks means here like a, let's say, in the sense like my parents are uneducated. There are maybe my friends is there, his parents is uneducated. But my parents feel that okay, if they admit me in a school, my future will be better. But my friend didn't get this opportunity. So shocks in the sense that whether I get the opportunity. So this is I may not get the opportunity when so not everybody gets the opportunity. Just like an opportunity starting the school. Shocks in this way. Not the conscious decisions. Conscious decisions maybe in your adult life, like whether you receive the job and then whether you want to join or not, that is the decision. I think you want to get an admission, but let's say I want to join the MBA school. So that means I'm expecting to get a loan from the bank, but I didn't get. Okay, so this is probabilistic. Like that's why it is probabilistic. I'm saying by probability here it means that only a fraction of people will get this opportunity, not everybody. And this fraction can be anything. This sigma can be one also. Okay. And from every position we choose the same sigma. That is for the simplicity. That is irrelevant for our analysis. Because the whole analysis will be so difficult in the latter stage. So if we take the different sigmas, there will be more mixed. And that is why we have taken the same sigma, only for simplicity. Okay. And another thing that I emphasize, so that I'll be only talking about like a culture shifting in the village. And this is probabilistic. Let me go and then come back. That starting from any other generation, like from the generation 2 or 3 or something. Now, okay, in the generation 3, okay, this is the initial distribution, the final distribution of the last generation, T minus 1. Now, these people, and this is the initial distribution, that means the final distribution in the last generation, T minus 1. Okay, here, okay, now both in the village and the city, people get to opportunity to culture. Already discussed in the village issue, so they culture shift, they get the sigma probability to culture shift. the village, I they get one to culture, they get opportunity. Everybody gets culture on the- if I am in the city, I should culture towards the right. Because I should go towards the mainstream. Okay, maybe later on, once I introduce the ability, it will be more clear. Probabilistic here. Because if I am taking the probabilistic again culture shift opportunity, then there are two ways because that's initially we have done two different trajectories in the village and city. Okay. Let me come to the next page, then it will be clear. Now, after the migration, now from the village, people get the migration opportunity. So then there will be a new distribution. Now, city, this is the acquired, and then some people from the village they migrate to the city. Then it will be the final distribution. And now, from now, I am assuming that there is no reverse migration to the village from the city. Okay, if my parents migrate to the city, I born, then I will never migrate to the village. Okay, we can also like we give no arguments. Actually, we have give some little like simple proof that there is no incentive for the reverse migration. Now, I think the something will be clear. Okay, for why do I require like those things like those like this initial situation means international world, only the mainstream people are there. They are culture
There is no difference.
There is no difference. Because we want to study the minorities, not the mainstream people.
What means 2 plus 1?
Yes,
There is no P plus 2 1.
there is no people.
You are calling it minority because what? Why are you calling it minority?
Because because we see that okay the minorities like the every country there is a mainstream, right? And there is a minority.
Yes, but this context, how do you say this? The village people are less in number of this.
No, not. You can take something different notations, the terminology, but we are just saying villages. It's not related to the yes, not in the number. We are speaking to the language.
Say marginalized rather than minority. Is that what you're trying to say? Marginalized?
I'm not sure.
Minority has a numerical connotation. That's what he's saying. And that is what my understanding. Minority is less in number. Less in number has a numerical connotation.
But here, even it is less in number, I am not taking the measure of the mainstream because this is irrelevant. Because even when we are talking about the less in number or measure anything, then you are comparing with the mainstream. Okay, I'm not taking anything.
That you say India is a country of villages. Okay? The numerically can be very, very high, but the opportunities are much less. So in that context, we will probably call it by a different name, like marginalized. Like marginalized communities, we understand the marginalized communities who are also minorities in the context. So it's probably when you talk about the village economy, that connotation does not necessarily follow. It's a terminal more than anything. But you mean to say a village is a minority? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, the way I am saying that it's not like a village and city. It's just talking about in a country. There are mainstream population, there is a minority population. But like whenever you model something, right, then you need to use the notation.
Understand it.
Yeah.
And maybe then call peripheral.
Maybe the different terminology can be used, but here we use the terminology that introduced by the Cortes and something because that's the same thing we are working. So suddenly I'm quite sure because my co-author is actually particularly he is working today area and I joined this project that in that stage.
See, they got in a situation scenario in which actually the mainstream is the majority. So So, they probably Americans and others, or in Europe.
But the question, here I'm not talking about this. The question is just the main question is whether minorities are going to assimilate with the mainstream. That's the question.
The meaning of anyway. Yeah.
Okay. So then the decisions okay, the minorities take the decisions with respect to the two things actually. One is of course the income that is deterministic, and the second is in the village is the social interaction. Now the social wages is deterministic, it makes sense, but the social interaction means what will be the distributions of the minorities in the village finally, not the initial distribution. Because initially maybe there are a lot of people whose culture is very close to my culture, but maybe their culture is different. Then there will be no very people and no social interaction. So this is the social interaction is depend on the final distribution. And so here, so given any distribution, I just first introduce what is social interaction. The social interaction basically depend on the two components. One is the measure of individuals. How many people are going to stay in the village? Second, so of course it increases with respect to the measure. More people is more social. Second component is dispersion. Okay. Let's say there are, as I mentioned, there are many cultures. Let's say I'm in the position 3. If more people are of the same culture, like in position 3, then the social interaction will be more. If less people in the position 3 and they are like in position capital P or position 1, that means less social interaction. And that is why we take into account the distance. Let's say I'm in the position P, this is the conjecture I'm making, this is the final distribution. Then what will be the dispersion? Dispersion is distance from any position multiplied with the measure of the. So this is the dispersion, and I just normalize by P minus 1. So this is in the village. In the city, of course, you get the better wages, better income. Okay, this is the premium. Okay, if you are more culturally focused with the city, then you get the more premium. And this is the social interaction in the city. In the city, so far, right now, I am not considering the distribution of the minorities. Rather, I am considering the total number. This is 1 minus measure of is the minorities in the village. And this is the function A, the increasing function. More minorities in the city, more social interaction. Minus the discrimination cost, because your culture is different from the mainstream culture. If you are in the position 1, that means the higher cost. If you are in the position capital P, lower cost. So there is a trade-off. In the village, in the city, you get the wages, but maybe the social interaction is less, because let's say you are more traditional. In the village, less wages, maybe the social interaction is higher. Okay. So the agents, the individuals will take decisions based on by comparing the utilities. Okay, but when they are comparing the utilities, they take into account the final distribution. Okay, that is unknown to them. Okay, they only know the initial distribution, and we do not know the final distribution. And so, based on the final distribution, we need to optimize. Okay. Is because we are studying the assimilation opportunities of migrants, the minorities, not the mainstream people. We are not studying the mainstream ones.
We also interact socially with the city.
Of course.
Yes, and original city, not the American. The American is a private. But the original city, what is that? That one doesn't come in because they are very cost. They don't grow.
See, you are saying when you are migrating to the city, you are communicating with the mainstream people, right?
Also.
Of course, yes, and that is why. See, this part, this is okay. It's understood. This is okay. Okay, this part increases my social interaction. A of this, if more minorities, is increases the social interaction. Now you are saying that okay, minorities also interact with the mainstream field, right? Of course, maybe I can introduce one factor there, but the minorities in the position one who are migrating to the city are culturally very different from the mainstream. So you are saying that there will be additional positive component in the utility, but there is a higher negative component in the utility due to the cultural difference between the mainstream and the minorities.
Possible. See, the thing is that social interaction, whether social interaction to the higher job or not, that depends on the diversity in the society.
Yes.
And whether the diversity is actually valuable for me or not. So in some examples, it's found that the social interaction among more diverse population is actually beneficial, as in the case of job specialization in Indian context based on classes. These jati-based interactions are more diversified than it's in a village, that village is more prosperous compared to those who are more kind of uniform. So this is found in empirically. Opposite is also because the conflicts completely is also higher when there is different diversity, religious diversity and language diversity. The conflicts becomes higher. That may lead to the welfare. So this depends on the context whether interaction the diversity is. This is the theory. This is the but it has an interaction with the diversity. Right, so here we don't have that.
That component, I have another component that we have not added here, that the diversity of the individuals is in also the place, but we can, because here we just add the total number of minorities in the city here. Rather than we can also introduce that factor. And that is also we have done. Okay. But we mainly study the benchmark case because the benchmark case already is so difficult. Because when if we rather than this benchmark case, we add that, it will be much more difficult. But we made a comment of how the changes, how are going to change the case. Give like
Yeah, one thing is that let's say around say if I have to interact with two different kind of population, then that puts a cost. That puts a cost on me. So my neighbors are so very few rich and I am poor, then that is cost. But if I am also equally rich, then that gives me a pleasure. Say, if I assume this, then in that case, your P population, then that is the extreme right. When that guy sits culturally and move to city, that person will get better value from social media.
and that's why this gamma function will be the decreasing function.
The gamma function is the cost, right?
Cost. And it will lower cost if you are migrating from the capital P.
I just wanted clarity. That is a different type of cost. It's not the cost from the social media.
This cost from the means it's just taking into account the cultural difference.
No, I just wanted this context discussion because I am very confused on this matter. Are you saying because of this slow movement that is why right in the beginning I was asking about one is a geographical separation, the other is culture, the concept of the culture. Are you saying in this context, are you saying that the migrants who come, they come from one to another, right? Or whatever, a city or society, they mingle with themselves. They are culturally contiguous groups and not with the mainstream. Is it because the mainstream is too far away from them? Is that what you're saying?
Little bit, yeah.
And that is why they can mix with only a little bit here and nothing more. A Punjabi in England, let us say, go away from India, can mix with a Bengali and not with a mainstream English woman or something. Okay, now is that the kind of thing that you say, or forget about a Muslim and a Hindu? Okay, because the cultural thing is.
So,
are you saying this because they can't mix with the mainstream because they're too far away? Is that what you're
Okay,
saying?
it's just a how you model it. Instead of let's say that I'm just taking into account your ideas. Let's say I replace the gamma p, the minus gamma p instead of taking subtracting the demographic, I'm adding something, and then taking into account the social interaction with the village. Now, those who are migrating from the position 1, okay, if we take into account their social interaction with the mainstream, will be less compared to those who are migrating from the position capital B. I just want to emphasize the fact that the people who are migrating from the position capital B, they have more incentive to migrate rather than the people who are migrating from the position 1. That's the thing. It's just the way how you represent it. That's it. We are taking like the minus discrimination cost. Instead of minus discrimination, you are adding a component that take into account the social interaction between the minorities and the mainstream. But then you need to assume that okay, the minorities who are migrating from the position 1 have less social interaction value than the minorities who are migrating from the position. Because it's not the assumption is important. You can take any function. The theoretical, because we need to make this model so attractive that of course you are more city focused individual, you have a less cost, or let's say you have more opportunity to interact with the mainstream rather than those are traditional individuals who are migrating from the village. Okay, just how the individual will take the decision. Okay, maybe I'll be quick. Now there are actually a lot of slides remaining. Just maybe I just finish 2 or 3 4 slides. See, their decision problem is first is whether to culture shift. Second, once people culture shift, whether to migrate. Then initially, how I take the decision. First, let's say just give maybe that just draw. Let's say I am in some position B. I have 3 opportunities: culture shift left, stay back, culture shift back. If I culture shift left, then I go to P minus 1. If I stay back at P, then if I right there. From each position, then I will have 2 opportunities. Whether to migrate. If migrate, then this term will be this. Okay, this is depend on the final distribution. And the CTP of sorry, this is P minus 1. And similarly for here and here. Now how do I take the decision? First, I'm an individual. I conjecture the final distribution. Okay. So let's say I assume I conjecture that the mu E is a final distribution. Then I know that if I move to the position P minus 1, then my village payoff will be this, city payoff will be this, but I do not know whether I will get the opportunity to migrate. Let's say I culture shift left, but I may not get the opportunity to migrate. For everything. And that is why whenever you are taking a decision here, then you take into account, okay, the village payoff is, let's say, what will be the utility for the position P. Let's say you are finally going to stay in the position P, either in the village or in the city. Means your awkward position. Maybe I born in the position P, maybe I born in the position P minus 1, or maybe I born in the. So who are going to finally born in P? Those born in P minus 1, they can just shift to this. Those born in P plus 1. I just shift to position P. Let's say I'm the individual who either born in P or P minus 1 or P plus 1. If I let's say I get a culture opportunity to culture shift. Now whether I'm going to culture shift, that's the question. What the utility I'll take into account. I conjecture the final distribution in the village, and then I know that if I stay in the village, then this will be my utility at P. But if the city payout is higher than already P are the opportunity. So then this is the expected payoff. Okay, you take into account. If city payoff is lower than the village payoff, that means you are not able to migrate to stay in the village. Then this is the that's why this is the take the If you get the physical of now every I if my if your conjecture is wrong, then means then your estimation problem is wrong. But we want to get it clear. That means everybody's conjecture should be right. But we want to define it in the way that there is a conjecture. If people conjecture the situation, take the decision. The culture should that is the equilibrium in the generation. Okay. So that's it. Maybe I'm now because due to that question, but one few important things I should mention. So even for some conjecture, culture shift to the position P is bigger than the culture shift P minus 1. And for other, going to P minus 1 is bigger than P. There will be a distribution. Conjecture for the utilities for the position P and for the position P minus 1. There's slight deviation. But this is what. If slight deviation, maybe utility for P is more than utility for P minus 1. Then everyone will go to P. Any deviation, utility for P minus 1 is more than this continuity. And that's why you need this like if the utilities are same, more than the sigma fraction get opportunities, then they divide. Some fraction will go to P and come. So maybe I'm not going to these details. Like that's why we introduce this fractions in order to define this how the given the conjecture in a period T and given those probabilistic this fraction, how the culture shift decision and the migration decision will take place and how the final distribution will take place. That we take into account. Just maybe I just discuss the informal definition. That given the inherited distribution, this will be an intergenerational equilibrium if the V1 minority persuades sequentially decisions profile this under the common conjecture for any profile, and this generates the same distribution what they conjecture as the final. Basically, the story is like this. Let's say there is an evaluation option who announced the final distribution. We report this is the final distribution, then everybody takes decisions. And he just mentioned that or migrating to their job failure in the village, you just let me know. So your probability, like your mixed evidence. I announce something and then now your final distribution. Then we match the final distribution of the then we announce the different fraction. Keep doing that. If there is no match, we change the distribution. Conjecture. We guarantee that there is conjecture. If evaluation option announce that conjecture, then there is a fraction. If we announce that fraction, then definitely the equilibrium will match. The conjecture will match with their final, with their conjecture is consistent with their decision. Okay, that's the equilibrium. Now, so this is the single generation problem. Now you repeat the story. In generation 1, you might be multiple equilibrium. Then maybe there are 5 equilibrium. Then from equilibrium 1, you start with the generation 2, there can be multiple equilibrium. Because final distribution of generation 1 will be the starting distribution. Basically, we are going to get starting from the initial distribution in the period 1, we are going to get the multiple trajectories. Okay, basically we are going to get some trajectory is like everybody is assimilating in the village. Some trajectory, everybody may be assimilating in the city. Some trajectory saying that there is a fracture equilibrium. In the fracture, okay, maybe the people are assimilating in the two positions like 3 and 4 in the village. maybe some trajectory are saying that the people are assimilating in the some other nation in the village. Because it's based on the, I'm not saying there is a single equilibrium generation. There can be multiple equilibrium. And now, if generation one, there are 5 equilibrium, let's say mu1, mu2, mu, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if one is the final initial distribution of the, if you just consider it for one, and that is the initial distribution in generation two, you get the defined trajectory. But if you consider in the equilibrium two, initial, and every period will be generation. So there is a lot of trajectories. And one condition is to identify. Okay, maybe you are interested in the fraction equilibrium. So how to get that? How to provide a sufficient condition so that will ensure you the fraction equilibrium, fragmented accumulation. That some a fraction of the people, that this is the informal, that eventually an unchanging fraction of the minority populations are born in the and live in the village in every generation, and the residual fraction of the minorities are born and live in every generation. So let's say total user is one, alpha fraction is going to eventually in the long run, okay, after generation, the long run, finally is going to of the people. That's the main goal. But if you want to start, see, when I give this, we give this existence, we have not said that how the equilibrium looks like. Maybe in the equilibrium, everybody is saying that. Maybe in the equilibrium, everybody might be. Maybe not. So, if we want to find this long run behavior, then we need to study these properties in every generation. And to do that, okay, we introduce something here that's we call the entrenched culture set. It just means that, okay, so this is like I'm just saying that the 2 up to let's say here 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, but entrenched in the sense that nobody from this position out of the nobody from this position. Nobody might be. Maybe somebody can come here. Maybe one can culture shift to 2. That's entrenched. So that means like if we are looking for the assimilation in the village, then in every generation the whole set will be entrenched. And if we are looking for the complete assimilation, then at least in the infinite generation, maybe not in the finite, there can be the infinitely many generation where everyone is unrepresented because people can culture shift right, because I'm not emphasizing too much due to time constraint. The most important is where we are going to get the fragmented assimilation. If I want to get the fragmented assimilation, first of all, one thing is very important. Not every generation, not in every generation, everybody enters. Nobody might do. No, that's not going to happen. And not in infinitely many generations. Means let's say generation 1, 3, 5, 7, the odd generation. It's not going to happen that people have incentive to mind. There's no incentive to stay there. That's also not the possibility. That we have studied. So those just give you the level picture. Those okay, I'm just keeping those complete assimilation thing. Just now, main idea is to get the fragmented assimilation. So for fragmented assimilation, this thing is necessary. The maximum village pair when everybody is going to stay in the village, nobody migrating, must be more than the minimum city pair. The pair where you are migrating from position 1, when nobody migrating to the city. And maximum city pair is more than the minimum. Because on the other side, if this is more than this, then everybody, because minimum city pair is maximum, everybody is going to migrate in the city. In the other, then everybody. So that's the first initial thing to observe. Okay. And, okay, maybe just I give you instead of this too much thing, maybe I just give you the last idea here. want to I just mark this position. Let's say that this. So this is the position where the major of people is like a let's say I'm just discussing generation one maybe. The up to this, the measure of summation p equals to 1 to p not mu not p is more than half. The more than half measure of people is here. Our idea is, see, if you carefully examine this portion function is linear. So people have incentive to culture shift towards this as incentive, but no people from here have incentive to culture in order to increase the village chaos. So of course, people from here they can culture shift here in order to migrate from here. So basic idea is to show them so there is a fraction from here nobody is migrating maybe and from here definitely migration okay maybe from somewhere here also there is a migration okay that's another question. In a single generation we are doing that because how we are doing that I know that these people have no incentive to culture shift here in order to increase the village flow. No, just I have to introduce something that they have no incentive to move to there in order to migrate. If they get the opportunity, they migrate. So that's the way we introduce assumption. So then we also that even these people coming here and these people coming here, still they have opportunity. If I see that the other people are migrating, if I am sitting here and I can see that people are coming closer to me, still I am migrating. So this is the kind of assumption. So in a generation, we obtain such an equilibrium, so there is a fracture. So they are entrenched and there is a migration. Then we repeat the story. Okay. We take the limiting thing and finally, so instead of going to the details, to maybe this page, finally you show that in every generation there will be a the one up to let's say the P naught, P hat, they are entrenched and there is a migration from. But this is a very strong conclusion. And for this conclusion, because maybe the condition is little bit stronger because we are just taking the same fracture equilibrium because maybe from starting from generation one we are just looking for the migration. Then what we have done is we guarantee okay we show that this is entrenched throughout, but then we introduce the condition like here. It says that if everybody will move to here, this position, if everybody, there are no people in this position, everybody move to this position, then I have no incentive to stay here. Then if I get the opportunity, I'll migrate. Because no people are there close to me. Okay. If I introduce this assumption, then it will guarantee that there will be a generation in which migration will occur. Definitely occur. In fact, it will guarantee that there will be a sequence of generations in which the migration is occur. And the most surprising thing is that we can guarantee a trajectory in which just bimodality occur. In the sense that there will be a 2-point distribution. In the village, those people who stay back in the village, they are going to assimilate in a position, just a single position. Because they have no incentive to stay far from each other. Because then there will be less social interaction. So they are coming closer to each other, and there is distribution in the village, and there is distribution in the city. That's just a 2-point distribution. Okay, the whole suffered in 2 points. That's the high modality we will see. And yeah, so and it can be checked that this fragmented assimilation, under fragmentation in the long run, the minorities get the less utility compared to the complete assimilation in the village, if they are assimilating in the village or if they are assimilating in the city. That's we have shown that. There is a possibility that in the long run there is the fragmentation, because if there is no fragmentation, everyone that is 16% or then this is the same, but it will be inequality. Okay. And polarization I already mentioned. The lastly, the adverse impact of the least and affirmative action policy means maybe the government can take some in order to stop this fragmentation. Like this, the wage premium, they might increase the wage premium or they reduce the cost discrimination. But the thing is very important. It is whether you are taking the actions earlier or in the later stage. Maybe you are taking the actions in the later stage, then already few people in the village they cannot go down. So fragmentation then occur. Or if you take the actions earlier, then maybe without that effect, in the few generations you get the everyone will stay in the village, but then there is a migration in the city, and that will also reduce the likelihood of this. So the timing is very important. Yeah, that's it. I thought that we can discuss in details that theoretical part, but given the time constraint, because that that theoretical things, the way we introduce that, initially the assumptions are minimal. Because people normally have sufficient conditions. We show that the assumptions are minimal. Why it is minimal? Okay. And that's the main important thing of that to emphasize. But anyway, I stop here. Yes, yes. We actually, basically, we mainly want to study the social interaction. Because we can include a lot of things in the utility. That's just unnecessarily complicate the theory. Because the theory itself already complicated. Mainly the social interaction effect that we want to take into account. Whenever you are modeling something, like just you want to study something, okay, you take into account the influences of your children, influences of the grandchildren, so on. Of course, you take into account the influence formation, but then one thing, of course, we do not want to make a very theoretical paper. This is an applied paper. Of course, you cannot answer this applied theory question by some light mathematical argument. You really need to provide a strong enough theoretical, give a strong enough theoretical background for this.
But now suppose that I believe that the way of thinking one is that says that individuals are doing this. This depends on wage rate and the usually type growth, wage rate and the social value of interaction, social interaction of value. Now, if I allow the wage rate, the index fall, say for some reason, over time, more people migrate out, then essentially I will be able to generate a result which is similar to this, but people will be staying back in the village, they will be poorer. Essentially, and there's a balance. So you have without going for a generation wise, I keep a one time shift.
Yeah, always possible. And that's why in any theoretical work, there will be some gap. And of course, you can take into account that issue and write a different paper to take into account. But our goal in this paper is to mainly take into account the social interaction. Because we feel that that part is more interesting rather than the wage issue. If we take it, if you instead of like a social interaction, you entirely on the future distribution. Like if you now take the not the deterministic, the income rather than the like a probabilistic income, then the things will be more complicated. Okay, like in generation and generation, We have not taken that into they should.
I take it as a kind of theoretical modeling exercise.
Right, actually both of Bhowmik and Mike are theorists. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of it because in terms of the empirical regularities of the call, empirical regularities, the model that we presented doesn't fit into any scenario, anywhere.
Maybe.
That's quite important. I'm talking of yours as an interesting theoretical model, which is perfectly all right. And the classical static model, which is the Harris-Studaro model of migration. And he was kind of referring to a one-time kind of thing. In Harris-Studaro model, that's also a model. But in Harris-Studaro model, it is the equilibrium condition is the wage rate in the two places, A and B, the city and village, right? And the migration depends upon the probability of getting a job, the probabilistic value, the wage rate difference plus multiplied by the probability of getting a job. So the two together determine, and that becomes the equilibrium condition of a migration. The typical, if you remember, the Harris-Studaro kind of static, which, in my knowledge, doesn't fit into any of the empirical regularities. But when I'm trying to capture this as part of the continuity of that Harris-Studaro kind of static, I'm trying to say that all this exercise, my understanding, the entire exercise is you would try to put some light into what that P is, the probability. The P is affected, what you're trying to say, in the context of the Harris-Studaro model, which is an equilibrium condition. This is going to impede or speed up the probability of migration. Like he said, that if the village economy, the wage rate goes down for some reason, more people will migrate. The typical, say, kind of empirical regularity will migrate. But the situation is very different today. Typically male members migrate, leaving the family behind, and so on. I'm not going into all that. The women stay behind with the children, their education is continued because they can't afford to go to the next village here. And then, of course, the women, then it follows feminization of agriculture. They start doing, labor, female agriculture. That's a different thing. But what I'm trying to say is that the P of the Harris-Studaro model is an equilibrium. Are you trying to give, in a manner of speaking, life to that P by saying that these are constraints to the assimilation and therefore migration?
No, I think it is a completely different model because the P, the value P is not that important here. Okay, the problem. The thing is here, the social interaction is the main part of this model. Okay, because the defined kind of minority is there. Not every kind of minorities will get the opportunity. Okay, that's we are saying that okay, you are totally uneducated minorities. Okay. So then you are possibly there is zero probability that you are there.
Probability of getting a job of a job.
But then your probability is
Not enough.
yes, then the probability is zero. But probability here with respect to the culture. And my model, there is a watch for opportunity to culture shift means like you get the higher studies, education, and then you increase your opportunity to get the migration. Okay, in my model, in our model. So, like, I don't know that model because I'm not from this background. Okay,
No, that's just a classical. Anyway, about static.
Yeah. But one, we also thought about that because we want to take it to about the social interaction. Social interaction does not depend on your like current distribution. Okay, because current distribution may be the many minorities like me, but after they get opportunities and they migrate, there will be no people because I also get the opportunity, but I did not migrate because I want to stay here. But my peers migrated, and then I'm getting less social interaction. But I thought that I get more social interaction because people will stay there.
Economic opportunity or your objective is social assimilation, which is your primary objective?
Everything. Economic, that's why the when you are getting the like if you see that if you see
Your
the
objective,
city,
your objective
both.
have both economic prosperity as well as social assimilation.
Yes, because in the utility there are two components. Here, like let's say in the city, if I just go, if you go to the city, you get the higher pay, higher wages.
That's okay. And then optimizing with two objectives,
Yeah.
very much more complex.
And that's why I already mentioned that whole analysis becomes so hard. Okay. And I do not want to make much more harder actually. And it's already very hard. Like if you see the appendix of the paper is too much already. And now because this is both of our point of view is different. I think I want to take, we want to accept this challenge that we want to tackle the two situations simultaneously. Okay. That the wages and as well as the social interaction. Okay. No, I have not presented. I presented a discrete model, maybe in different style, not the paper. Okay. I think Augustine presented this paper back in 2012 or something. But in that case, we just have the idea. We just presented his idea. Okay. Oh, that's why I'm not telling this. That is the discrete choice model. Yeah, discrete choice model. Only the existence issue I have discussed that. Yeah, not like this.
Very senior.
Papers?
Pretty great.
No.
What's the discussion kind of?
Yeah, I think he was.